Welcome back to MFO, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. It's Wednesday, which means it's an Underwater Wednesday episode. I tell you what, I was throwing a crankbait a while ago, and I noticed every time I made my cast, my crankbait was running off to the side. And I thought, man, I got to tune this. And I thought, wait a minute, that's a good episode to teach you how to tune your crankbait. So we're going to use the pool, and we're going to use this not so true running crankbait to show you how to tune your crankbait. Be right back, guys. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to another Underwater Wednesday. Today we're in the pool and we're going to show you how to tune your crankbaits. There's a lot of guys who don't know. I don't think they know that their crankbait isn't running correctly in the first place, and I don't know that they know how to fix it if they notice that it isn't running. Your crankbait should be tuned. There's a way for you to tune it, and I gotta be honest. This crankbait, when I first threw it, came right out of the box and it was not running correctly. So I'm gonna show you how to tune it. I'm gonna show you first of all what it looks like that it's not tuned correctly. Then I'm gonna show you how to tune it, and then we're gonna put it back in the pool and see if we didn't get that bait to run true. Guys, before we start throwing this crankbait and then start fixing it and tuning it up, please remember, if you haven't subscribed to Mark Fisher Outdoors, we'd ask you to please do that. Hit that notification button. Hit the like button if you like the content that we're putting out. And by all means, we'd love it if you would share your comments. That's what gets this whole Mark Fisher Outdoors community going. So we'd appreciate all of that. Let's get in the pool. So guys, like I said, I had this crankbait, took it out of the box, and this doesn't happen very often, but this is a Strike King XD, and I took it out of the box, I made a long cast, and all of a sudden I noticed that my line was going way over to my right. This is on a lake. I couldn't see what the bait was doing under the water, but I knew when I could see the line going off to my right, I knew that it wasn't right. So I took this off, came back, I threw it in the pool, and I immediately saw what was happening. This is what was going on. You can see how that bait is going way off to the right. It's not diving as deep as it should, and it's just absolutely not working the way it's supposed to. And that happens, and quite honestly, this one is pretty exaggerated. It's a pretty exaggerated, out of tune bait. I don't know whether it got bent. Well, it could have got, I'm not exactly sure how this happened, but it's very, very badly out of tune. So what we're going to do, let's go in the house and get a pair of pliers, and I'll show you what we're going to do to straighten this bait out. Okay, so let me show you what it is that's wrong with this bait. We know that it's not tuned, and then how to fix it. So I'm gonna try and get a close-up here and get the camera to, it's this piece right here that the nose of my needle nose pliers is on. It's not the split ring, but the part that the split ring attaches to. And because this bait is coming off to my right as I'm looking at it and it's coming off to my right. So I'm looking at it and it's coming off to my right. That means that what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to use the nose of my pliers and put it against the edge of the bill, and I'm just going to bend it back the other way. I'm going to squeeze a little bit. Now you have to do this kind of increments at a time, because otherwise you'll get one that it'll be just like driving a boat. You'll overcorrect. You're going too far to the left, then you go over too far to the right. So I've moved it a little bit. Now I'm going to go back in the pool and I'm going to see if I've gotten this bait to be tuned or if I need to move it a little bit more. So we'll go check it out. Okay, so guys, now that I've tuned this crankbait, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast it out. And again, guys, we can see the way this crankbait runs in a pool, but in a lake, you're not gonna be able to do this. So you're going to make your cast, and now what you're going to do, keeping your rod tip up, you're just going to reel that crankbait in, and you're gonna be watching your line. Does your line come back center to you, or is it still riding off to the left or to the right? Once you've got it running so that it's running center to you, now you know you've tuned your crankbait. Let's see if we've actually tuned this crankbait up so that it's running true. All right, so I'm gonna try and get out of the way, and we'll see if you can see that that line, I don't know whether you can pick up that line in the video, but that line is running true to my rod as I'm reeling that crankbait back. And I gotta be honest, guys, the first time I tuned it, when it was going off to my right, and I tuned it to make it go to the left, and I over-tuned it, and then I had it running into the wall. I tweaked it back and I got it right to the center. It was so far off to the right, when I tweaked it, it was going a little bit to the left, and I moved a little bit more, and now I got it right in the center. Okay guys, so a couple of things just to review and to make sure that you've got these points. When you are tuning your crankbait, it is that little eye right there by my dirty fingernail that is the part that you are tilting, and you are tilting it the opposite way of the way that it's running. So if your crankbait is running improperly this way, you're gonna tilt that eye so that it goes in this direction, just a little. These tweaks that you make have to be very minor. Otherwise, all you're doing is running too much to the right, then too much to the left. So just a little bit until you get it to run center. Now, the other part is you're usually seeing these problems when you make a long cast and you see your line start to swing over to the right. When you're fixing the problem, I would suggest that you don't make a long cast, because what'll happen is, like I said, as you fix the problem, you're fixing it in increments. It's not an exact science. So when you make a long cast after you fixed it and it comes back straight, you're like, hey, I got it. Make a shorter cast first, about the pool length or maybe a little bit longer, and just see if it's not running a little bit off center. Then go ahead and make your longer cast, because the longer cast will seem like it's center, but the shorter cast will be very exaggerated that it's not exactly straight. So long cast to determine whether you have a problem in the first place. Once you go and tune your bait, make a shorter cast, maybe 10, 20 yards, and just run it and see if it's running absolutely straight. So guys, we've got a video coming out tomorrow about the best baits of August. And these crankbaits are one of those baits that I would absolutely be using in August. So as you got your crankbaits out, if you notice that they need to be tuned, now you know how to tune them up. Get out there, throw some crankbaits in this hot August weather, those deep weed lines and ledges and things like that. Catch some big fish. We hope this helps. We'll see you again tomorrow on another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. Take care, everybody.